Hey, this is my spoilers review for Deadpool. If you haven't seen Deadpool yet and you want a spoiler-free review, I have one on my main channel, Muso Live. Link in the description, annotation here, and there's a card that just popped up somewhere, wherever the cards are. The card just popped up. If you're on mobile, you can click on that, and you can go to the spoiler-free review. But this review is all spoilers, so if you haven't seen Deadpool, get out. Go. Get out of here. Just leave, go watch it, come back, watch this, we can talk about it. It'll be great. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. Let's start with how it's edited, which is not really too much of a spoiler, but it kind of is. How it starts you off with action, then goes back, shows you a little bit of backstory, goes back to action, shows you a little backstory, goes back to and back and forth. Really, really great choice. Until hour into the movie maybe, you're caught up, and then the movie continues. But it was a really, really great choice to do it that way. It would have made the first half of this movie kind of dull if they didn't do that, if that makes sense. If they would have just done it, structured and chronological order, then it would have made it a little dull in the first half. You would have been like, alright, let's get to the Deadpool stuff. I want to see the Deadpool stuff. Even though the backstory stuff is really interesting, you want to see some Deadpool stuff, and you really want a movie to start you off with something. And that's like kind of Avengers kind of style, you know what I mean? With those movies where they don't need to explain anything because there's no origin stories, or with sequels of superhero movies because there's no origin story to start off with. So they just start you off in the action and really get you hyped for the rest of the movie. That's what this movie does, and then it goes to backstory, and it's a really great way of doing the traditional superhero story in a new way. I like it. Now the changes to the origin story. Well, that's the thing. Deadpool has a few origin stories. His main one is that he was part of the Weapon X program, which created Wolverine, if that makes sense. And, they injected him the same things. Not adamantium, but they did other stuff to him, and then he got the mutant healing, and that was the whole thing. I don't really like that backstory, to be honest. I think it makes him rely on Wolverine too much, if that makes sense, and I'd like for him to be his own character. I like the story where he was burned as a kid in an orphanage, all the orphans poured boiling hot water on him or something, and that's how he got all his burns and ugliness. But I don't mind that it's just the serum that does it in the movie. It doesn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all. Because also in the comic I'm talking about his adoptive mom. Adoptive? I don't know. The person that adopted him always tries to have sex with him, so that story's pretty dark, so it makes sense they didn't go with that. Oh, the scene where he breaks his wrists and one of his ankles trying to fight Colossus. So good. So Deadpool funny, and then when he cuts his arm off, just perfect. Just perfect. It's a great little baby hand that's growing back. That was one of my favorite bits in the whole thing. It was just so perfectly Deadpool and wonderful. What I wanted to see him do, which I tried to explain without saying stuff that didn't happen in the movie, what I wanted to see him do, as far as breaking the fourth wall, was trip over the cameraman and then get mad at the cameraman and be like, you interrupted me, what are you doing, get it back, I'm trying to do this. Or, kill somebody with a boom mic like Jeremy John said, or, other stuff like that. Stuff that really takes you out of the movie. Because that's what I like about Deadpool, when he really just takes you out of the story and is like, let's go do something else for a second. I just find that really funny. So, I wish it would have been a tiny bit more, I wish it would have been a tiny bit crazier. But, for the most part, it's insane. So, I can't really complain that much. Bob makes an appearance. If you don't know who Bob is, he is a character that is in many Deadpool comics. Hydra soldier who is made to be Deadpool's companion. His handler. He's made to be Deadpool's handler. And so he has to go on all these adventures with Deadpool. And he just always gets just the bad end of everything. Deadpool's always fine, because he can't die, he's always fine. And then Bob just gets the shit beat out of him, and just horrible things happen to him. So I hope Bob's in the next one. We didn't see him die, because he just knocked him out. So I hope he's in the next one. Man, that'd be funny. I love Bob as a character in the comics, so I would love to see that. There's not too many other spoilers that I want to talk about, except for the end scene and the after credits scene. So with the end scene, so good. So good. When he's got the guy on the ground and Colossus is like, listen, Wade, you don't have to shoot him, okay? There's moments in life where we can be the good guy. We can be the better person. You only get a few moments, 4 or 5, where you can really make a difference and choose to not just be a vigilante, but but be a hero. And just right in the middle of Colossus's whole speech. And then Colossus throws up. And it's hilarious. Oh, and he leaves the bag of guns behind in the cab. Man, so funny. So funny, because whenever he started packing up all those guns, I was like, alright, this is gonna be cool, but I'd rather him just use his swords and his, Desert Eagles and stuff. But it's fine. Let's watch this huge gun shootout. And he leaves the bag. I was like, yes! He has to use just his pistols and his swords. It's gonna be great. And it was great. The only thing negative I'm going to talk about in the spoilers, which is not even spoilers, but the only thing that I forgot to talk about in the main review. So I wish there wasn't any shots where it's fully CGI Deadpool. I know they have to do that sometimes, but I just feel like there's some shots where it's like full CG Deadpool and it wasn't totally necessary. A lot of flippiness, a lot of CGI Deadpool flips that kind of just took me out of it for a second, where I was like, oh, this movie was really grounded, and now, well, it wasn't grounded in reality, but I'm saying felt a little grittier, little like things were actually being hurt because of the gore and stuff like that. And now it got really cartoony for a second. Even though Colossus is a CGI character and he didn't bother me one bit. So I don't know, maybe just the contrast between real Deadpool costume, which looks amazing, and then the CGI Deadpool, which just looked a little too clean, if that makes sense. But either way, I really enjoyed it. It was only for very short periods of time, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It just bothered me a tiny bit. After credit scene. Ferris Bueller. Wow. Just wow. That was like perfect. That was exactly what Deadpool should have ended a movie with. Is a Ferris Bueller reference. We're the first to ever do an after credit scene. Great way to just pay homage to that and be like, you know what, Deadpool knows about Ferris Bueller, he knows about pop culture. Here's his take on it. And it was really funny. He told you to pick up your trash in the theater, and then he came back and told you that Cable would be in the next one. Cable is going to be in the sequel. They didn't know who to cast. They haven't cast it yet. He just said, Cable's going to be in the sequel. Don't worry about it. Maybe Mel Gibson, someone else, or Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley as Cable. I would watch that movie. Absolutely. So guys, I think that's all I have to say about the spoilers section of Deadpool. I mean, I don't have too much to say because I don't know. Like, I mean, there's specific jokes I could go into, but I can't even really think of all of them right now. So I'm just going to end it here and say it's a great movie. Go see it. I said that in my normal review, but if you didn't watch that one and just skip to this, then hopefully you've seen Deadpool before you did that, because I'm sorry if I spoiled anything, but I gave you a warning, so what can I do? But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please like it. If you dislike the video, please dislike it. And I will see you next time.